Good evening, everybody. Let's move that. Can I move that out of the way? So it's really off-putting when you have these things at the corner. Well, 2 tutorials in one day. I went around and just did some panels. I thought, right, I'll tell you what, let's actually make this. I thought rather than, oh, just throwing the slippers in the bin. I thought rather than just, you know, come back and it's already done, I thought why not actually, let's move that up so you can see a bit more. Why not get this tutorial done and do it all the way through? So, what I'm going to do is start just, I'm going to put together the hexagon first. Let's do that. I've cut all my panels. We're not going to need those ones. Let's move those out the way. Let's pop them up the top there and move those over there. Right, we're going to put together the hexagon box. I know I said I wasn't going to do it, but you know what? It's a cold, wintry, miserable day outside, and I thought, I might as well do this. Let's have a nice tutorial, a nice long one, because you know, it does help. I know some people like to see the full, you know, the full from start to finish, and I suppose it is. It's better doing it that way, isn't it? Rather than just doing, again, I always say a half-hearted one. Right, if you've never put these together, I'm putting my smaller edge over the bit where they've put the ruler on there, and the reason being is because you get a ridge inside it. If you put the other one outside, you get a real funny ridge inside. So I prefer to put my smaller edge over that ridge. Gosh, the weather tonight, don't know if you can hear that, the wind and the rain. It's been horrendous, and I've been waiting for my workman to put my roof, last year my porch roof fell off, and oh, I can't tell you the nightmare I've been through to get this roof made and done. And they came the other day and there was the tiniest bit of rain and they said, oh, you know, we can't work in this. And then every day since then, we've had, it seems to be what seems like gale force winds. It's been horrendous. Right, anyway, you don't want to hear about that. You don't want to hear about that. So, okay. So remember, this is the hexagon that's going in the bottom centre box to cover to hold our battery, because I didn't like having the battery on the side of the first one, because you know you couldn't change it. So this is going underneath, and we're going to make a flap for it, like an opening, a little door, so that you can get to that to change your batteries, and then, you know, you're not doing this hard work in vain. Okay, right, so we've got our little sausages. Okay, our little sausages. I'm hoping, I don't know if I told you, see, if you haven't watched my other tutorial, it's worthwhile watching it, because I do explain. It's the one which is the Toxagon. I think I've been on the whiskey. The Hexagon memory book from Tonic. If you go and have a look at that, it's the wall feature, the wall light feature, and I explain everything to do with how to put these, you know, frames, the hexagon frames together. So we're just going to pop some glue on our tabs, and then remember, we're putting one into the other, right? One into the other, making sure they're all the right way round. And I turn mine inside out. That's how I do mine. And I give it a little pinch, and I always use wet glue. I always do. Reason being is if you stick them on the wrong way round, and I've done it plenty of times, you can take it off quickly. Because if you use tape, obviously, you know, they're going to stick to each other, and, you know, you've had it at that point. So we're just going to go round with these and put this box together. So this was really the last part we had, what did we say we had? 6 parts, didn't we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the lights, yes, and we've had 6 parts, 6 components to this, to making this light up hexagon box. So this was really the last one. Well, I suppose not, because we've still got to construct all the other ones, haven't we? So this is really first part of construction. Now you don't have to do this first. You can do whichever one you want. You know, you can do, start with your box. It doesn't make any difference. I tend to, because I've been making quite a few of these, I tend to sort of set panels up. I do them all, you know, I do them all in different stages. And then you're not getting, sorry, I realise I'm just ever so slightly off camera. I just realised, apologies for that. Yes, I just kind of do bits and bobs. Right, so if you remember, we are popping our glue. Apologies again if you do see my head. And I noticed as well when I was doing my crafting earlier on, you see this big bald patch on my head. And I thought, have I got a bald patch? And I thought, I must go and have a look. But I think it was where I had my hair burned in. It looks like I've got this awful bald patch, but I promise you I haven't. So glue in there, and then glue in these little tiny edges. So sort of both, a little bit on both to get this stuck together. So this is how I do mine. Just go around it each edge. Now turn it back over. Oh, just, where are we? We're up there, aren't we? Let me move that out of the way. I don't know why we've come up over there. Let me move those. That's a bit better. You can see now, can't you? I'm just having to turn my head sideways. Okay, so remember, we're slotting them into each other, aren't we? Slotting them in. Remembering these, we cut these down to 10 centimetres, which is ½ centimetre shorter than your inside box. And this is going to be for, like we say, for your battery compartment. So a little bit of glue on there. Don't push the tab too far down because you want it to adhere to the top. So here we go. We have a lovely hexagon done. Now, like, you know, this is going to be, I'm just waiting for this to grab a bit. Just making sure this is going to be, let me just get my big hexagon. Where's my big hexagon so I can show you? I just want to also, I'm just looking at this actually and thinking that's too big. Huh. That is too big. Nice hexagon, but it's too big. Why is that? That should be 10 centimetres. Let me have a look. It's actually 9 centimetres. So that's strange. Why has that come up so big? Or is this our 10 centimetre hexagon? I thought this was our 11.5. I thought it looked a bit big. I have to, do you know what? I'm going to have to check that now I've done it. Because we might have to cut those down shorter. Just looking on it, unless that is, no, that's not my 10.5, is it? That's my 11. This is my 10.5. Right, that's definitely not going to fit inside, is it? I'm going to have to adjust that. Now, I thought I cut them down to 10, but it looks like I've actually cut them down to, no, it would be here, that's right. This looks like 11. Right, I'm going to have a look and just double check this, because obviously I've done my measurements wrong for the box. So let's move that out the way. That is, anyway, that's a nice tutorial to show you how to put a hexagon box together. So you're not going to need to see me do this again, but I will adjust my measurements because obviously this is your inside box and this is supposed to fit inside here. Do you see? It's supposed to fit the outer edge of there, and I've obviously, I mean, I can only have got my measurements out very slightly. So rather than let me watch, you watch me make that again, that is how you do it. But let me just recheck the measurements because you're going to obviously need it smaller for the inside at the bottom. But let's not worry about that too much. you've seen how it's going to work, and I'll get that done, because I don't think we're not going to get all of this done in this tutorial today. So let's move on to, I think let's put the panels in. Now, I didn't do this the first time round. Yes, of course I cut the panels, I did. And yes, I did, we're going to need those, aren't we? I did put the acetate in. But I didn't put the panels on until after I'd constructed the box. Why? I don't know. Probably because I didn't actually know what I was going to put on the box at the time. So I thought, rather than, I thought I'd put all these panels together first, and then put the box together. Because last time, I think the way you've been watching me do these boxes previously, because we've just been using them for hexagon boxes and we haven't done any outer edges, you haven't seen me do it in this way. So aware of that, and here we go. So I'm just placing this down. So obviously I've put my double-sided tape on the back already, and I'm just placing my square pieces of acetate, and I'm doing this in the right way. Yes, double checking. Just placing my pieces of acetate inside the panels to not just to reinforce it, but obviously that's where we want our window. And you know what, I should have actually brought in the other ones, because I was going to show you, wasn't I? I was going to show you maybe I'll bring them in at the end, the other panels. Right, so one there. We'll try and fly through this. Yes, I was going to show you the other panels, because I've been working on them. The thing that takes the time, especially with the wedding box and you could have it as a christening box or a Holy Communion box, the one I'm doing, because I'm using the crosses. You know, Tonic did these beautiful, let's use another one. I think I've stuck tape on a bit too much, but it doesn't matter, it's fine. They had these beautiful cross dies, and also as well, you know, they'd look good for Easter. You know, I know we've not even got into Halloween, you know, we've just got into October, so we've got Halloween to come yet, and we've got Christmas to come yet, but you know what it's like. Before you know it, Easter will be here. So yes, I'm using those. I've actually just lost my train of thought, because I'm trying to get these put on as quickly and as swiftly as possible for you. Oh look, we've missed a bit of tape out there. Huh. There we go. What are you all up to tonight anyway on this horrible... I've just put the heating on, and my gosh, these bits of... Do you know what? I wish they would make these double-sided, you know, this red tape. These things just stick everywhere. Do they or do they not? And does it or does it not drive you crazy? They stick to your hands. They stick to everything. But yeah, I wonder what you're all doing tonight. It's so miserable. It isn't really. This is crafting weather, isn't it? We're now into the stages of crafting weather time, aren't we? The winter days. I was just talking to my friend actually, thinking, you know, we're just saying that Christmas is fast approaching, isn't it? And it will be upon us soon. They're talking about turkey shortages. You know, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, after the Christmas that we all had last year, I should think if you can't get hold of a bit of turkey, really, there's not really an issue, is there? You know, I was one of the, you know, I was down in Kent, I'm in Kent, so we didn't have any kind of a Christmas with our families last year, so I'm just so looking forward to being with my family, you know, as I guess you all are this year, so I'm not worried if we have meatloaf, sometimes a frugal Christmas, always turns out to be a better Christmas, doesn't it? Right, so now we're moving on to the panels. Now let's see if this has worked, because do you remember we really did measure these, didn't we? We really tried our best to measure these. Now I'm guessing that this tape is going to be a bit tricky, because I've used sometimes when you use the speciality papers, and they've got all the little, sorry, I must bring this back up to the camera, I'm sorry, I don't want to work off the camera, but sometimes they have these little ridges and they're really difficult to get off. She says, do you know what, I'm just going to pop a little bit of this on, because you know what I'm like, knowing my luck, it'll all go wrong. And also apologies if you can hear a little bit of shouting, it's my son who's talking to his friends on the computer, so hopefully we can stay with you and it's not going to be too bad. Right, I'm going to try and do this again. Apologies if you see my head, but I really want to get this lined up quite neatly, otherwise, you know, it's going to have that horrible ridge, and we don't want a ridge. So going nice and slowly, and with a bit of luck this should be straight. What does that look like? Normally you can tell on the camera. Normally the camera, when you do things on, it's so funny. I don't know about you, you know, if you do YouTube videos, but when you're crafting on, you know, on the camera, you can see every tiny little, you know, if it's a little bit wonky, you can really see it. So it is actually quite good crafting with a camera on as you're watching it. It really does help. But yes, so apologies, my son is, if you hear a bit of shouting, nothing's happening, it's just he's on his computer. Right, so let's see if this has really helped, because we really didn't, we measured everything. We really went to town with measuring this, so I'm hoping and praying that this is going to go in. What do we think? Well, and the moment of truth, what do we think? Yes, that's really that's gone on nicely, hasn't it? So there you go, it pays to measure off. Now I'm going to say, remember I said to you, we have to make sure, so it is going to look like that. You're not going to get them completely, do you understand what I'm saying? Completely, because we've got the lip here, we've had to make room for this lip, because we don't want it overlapping onto here, do we? Just having a look. Actually wouldn't have overlapped that much, but you do get a little bit of a difference just because of this lip on the side, right? So let's carry on and keep going. I actually quite like these especially, I don't know what they're called. Oh, look in a minute, it's behind you. I'll have a look. These are lovely papers, these. It's so pretty, and as I thought, oh, I use that, and it was just literally, I didn't really have time to really think about what was going on to this box. I literally thought, right, what have I got? And I looked in my, my paper. Well, I say it's a tray. It's not really a tray. It's a paper stack. I've got a whole, it's like a cupboard full of paper, and I looked in there, and they were the speciality papers, and I had lots of gold, and I thought, oh, okay, I'll just use gold. So I do apologise, it's just literally been thrown together, but I actually quite like these papers. They're really, really nice. I think I might have to invest in a couple more. Now I've just seen a little bit of a ridge there. That's just an overlap of the back. Right, just going in, placing that over, nice and neat. I'll tell you what it is. It's just behind me. It is, what is it? Golden Scales, speciality paper. is what it is, and it's really pretty. Do you know what, actually, I think I remember why I bought this, and I've had it for such a long time and never used it. And that was what I was going to say. In your craft, I think this is craft kit 34, isn't it, that we used, there are some deco frames. So not flower ones, there are deco ones. And I thought, oh, I'm so stupid. I should have used the deco frames with that paper, because the deco frames would have gone perfectly with this. It really would have. So if you have these papers and you do have the craft kit, then try and use the other one, which is more of a deco frame than this one, and it would have gone perfectly. But I couldn't do it because we'd already cut the inside out. For the deco one, the inside is different. The cut is different, so I couldn't then go and change my mind. Right, I'm just bringing this, right, we have got a little bit, see, this is where it's so difficult, because I think we're going to have a little bit of a height difference on this. No, we're not. It's not too bad. Let's have a look. Oh, wait, no, we haven't. It's just me being panickety. As per usual. I always sort of fold them and just have a, you know, have a quick look. So yes, if you do have these papers, yeah, and you've got craft kit 34, use the deco frame, because they would marry up perfectly. But yes, what I was going to say was, I bought those papers originally because Jodie did a tutorial. I'm sorry this is taking so long. It's the tape on the speciality papers is just being a bit naughty. I don't want to rip the paper. But Jodie did a tutorial, and it was a really long time ago, where she made this little mini sort of album. It was, I'm sure it was on Creating. It might not have been. It might have even been as far back as the Hochanda days. But she made this lovely book, little mini sort of, I think it was with the locks. What was it with? It was with the locks and the dates. Do you remember they had some dies with all the dates and the months on them? It was that launch. And Jodie did this beautiful book, and she used those papers, and I bought them, and I was like, oh, I have to have those. But actually, I just didn't use them because I thought, you know, I didn't get round to using them. So anyways, that's enough about speciality papers. Right, we're nearly done. Nearly there. I really maybe should have just done this before I got on, because watching me put these together is probably quite laborious, isn't it? I kind of realise that now. But never mind. Never mind. It's such a shame. You know, I really would love to do lives. I did open a group, but I'm just so, I don't want to go in there, and, you know, it's just, you know, I'm a bit... I don't want to go in there, and I don't want to upset anybody or anything, you know. I'm not sure, because I noticed that not a lot of people seem to go live, do they? Let me get, sorry, I've got to get my head in here. We have got a little bit of a difference here on this one. A very slight, very, I mean, it's minimal, but there is a slight difference. I mean, I know I'm being so finicky. I'm so finicky. I must stop. I just, even if something's a millimetre out, it just drives me crazy. Right, let's carry on anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold all our lines, and we're going to put that outside box together. Okay, we're gonna get this part done. And then we'll move on to the inner panel, because I want you to see how these are going to come together. Actually, do you know what? That's really pretty, isn't it, on gold? With that paper at the back. I'm just looking at it. Isn't it funny how sometimes you can put colours together and you look at it and you think, oh, that would have looked fantastic on black. That really would have looked amazing on a black background. because it's quite, look at that, it's lovely. I really like that, but hey ho, you know, I'm sure they've still got those, I hope they've still got those papers, fingers crossed. I'll go and have a look on their site. But yes, no, I was saying, you know, I really want to start doing lives, and you can't go live on YouTube without having 1,000 people who, you know, ugh. It's really frustrating that you can't go live without having 1,000 people. How annoying is that? Right, let's see if I can get this together. So we've got our 11.5 centimetre hexagon, okay? I'm going to do exactly the same, just checking that I'm right. Yes, I am. So I'm going to do exactly the same as I did. So if you've been watching me do the hexagon boxes, just the non-light up ones, then you would have seen this already. You would have seen these tutorials. So you might, you know, want to flick through. You know, when you're watching me back, you can just rewind through it and take yourself to the next bit. But if you haven't seen me do them, then I suppose it's quite beneficial, because sometimes people watch things and they haven't seen other videos first. So I'm going to talk like it's, that, you know, I haven't done it before. So we're going to do panel by panel, and we're going to come in, and we're really going to make sure that these are taken to the absolute edge, right? The absolute, let's just have a look. It's taken up. Let's just make sure we're really in again. Oh, you remember what I said about really butting this right to the corner? Can you see it? Oh, I'm sorry. Can you see that? Taking that right up to the bottom edge of the hexagon. It's very important, especially when you're working with two boxes. Oh, I've got this little, oh, here we go. Send that in a bit. Got that little, there we go. And it's just coming in there. Is that sitting nicely? Yes. So we're popping each panel. Sorry, I'm really losing my train of thought. I think this is the first time I've done a tutorial in the evening. And my brain doesn't work, I don't think, as well in the evening than it does in the mornings. I think I'm much better. But yes, if you've not seen me put this together, then we are putting glue on the bottom panels. We're always using glue. We're never, ever, ever using tape for this. And we're just spreading it up to the edges to make sure that that's completely covered and it's completely all going to stick. We're not sticking the side panels together until the end. Do you remember? I said that we're not going to do that because, oh, let's just pop that in there, because it is actually much easier, because we're working with these panels and they are big, substantial panels, right? And it is much better to put these together at the end. So again, I'm just going around and making sure that these are really stuck. Now, you really do need to get these corners stuck as well. These little corners, you know, sometimes you do get little gaps, and I'm going to advise you that if you do get gaps, okay, see where this little bit is, and you're sticking this together. Now, because you're running your light through, sometimes tiny little gaps, the light seeps out. So a good trick to that is to fold up a tiny little bit of, wrap a little tiny bit of tissue paper in your fingers, or put a bit of glue on it and put it in the corner. It's not going to affect anything, and it's going to take away the escape of the light, if you know what I mean. I will show you, but I would do that, because I noticed that with the box that I had, the first one. Do you remember I did the trial? Do you know what? I'm totally skew-whiffed today. I'm never this far over. I'm never this far over when I'm crafting. I don't know what I've done with my camera at all. So strange. So I've just had to move up, because I seem to be crafting off camera tonight. Yes, back to the lights and the box. Yes, so you get the light that escapes, and I would, again, we're looking for the best finish that we can possibly get, aren't we? And I think you'll get, oh, let's pop that in there. I think you'll get a much nicer finish if you do that. Right, we're just getting our hands right in there, right into the, just making sure that really is to the edge. Really, I'm just, you know, checking it's all nice and in there. It's important that we do get it right. I always say that, but it is, because there isn't really much room for mistakes in making these boxes, you know, there really isn't. So I'll show you what I mean after I put these long panels on, right? Just running that down there. Okay, and then do you remember what I said? We pinch the top together, right? We pinch the top together and just make sure you've got it up to where you want it. I'm just putting my finger up here to make sure that it is where I want it to be. And then I just run my finger all the way down the edge, okay? I can see the little hole now. You can see my hand where I'm running it down now. You couldn't see before. If you can just see, well, let's put it together and show you. I'm being so hasty. I just want to show you because this is really, this is going to make the difference. These things are going to make the difference between a box and a really, you know, all these little touches, all these little things are going to really make your box stand out. So again, pinch, pinch, just give it the guidance it needs along that line. Again, making sure it's straight. This is the only way you can really do it as well, because the panels are just so big. Turn it over and run your finger down. So I've got a tiny little one there, little, ever so tiny. And before, did I have my panel stuck on first? I can't remember. I must have done. No, you know what? I actually don't think I stuck my panels on these, the acetate. I didn't stick the acetate on. Is that better? Just a little bit up, if you can see me, until after I put it together, but I guess I must have done. I can't remember how I did it the first time. I know I definitely didn't do it like this. I know it definitely wasn't done like this. I'm just wondering if I put the panels in without having the, oh, and I've just noticed I've got a little tiny, where I've left a little piece of the, that's coming out, there we go. Right, pinch again, last one, and then I'm going to show you these because this is important. This is quite important. Yeah, it's important. Okay, so we're just coming in, and here we go. Outer box is nearly done. Now you've got to you've got to watch me do it all again. Yeah, that's right. Right, now let's see if I can show you what I mean. I'll have to go, actually, I think my tissue paper is downstairs. But just, right, how am I going to show you this? Just in, where are we? Right, you can see that. Now just in the corners, it's going to be so hard to show you. There are little tiny bits of light. When you hold it to the light, you can actually see them in the corners. So all the corners where your edges have met, you've got little holes. Now all you have to do, just imagine this was tissue paper, because you just get a bit of tissue paper, roll it up into a ball, okay, a really teeny tiny ball, and then put a bit of glue and just pop that in the corner. Maybe I'll show you how to do that later, and that is going to stop all the light leaking from the corners. And I can tell you this, it wouldn't make a difference whether you made this with die cuts, if you already had the set, it wouldn't make a difference whether you had the set or not, because they would all have leakage. They'd all have light leakage through them. You can't help it. It does happen. Right, now you've got to watch me do it all over again. This was 10 centimetre one, wasn't it? I think it was. I'll double check that. Right, so now you're going to have to watch me do all these panels all over again. So I do apologise. Right, because, let me show you. Because you're not going to see all the way up. I haven't cut all the way up. I did with the other ones that I did, the first box I did. I'm really swift today. With the first box I did do complete panel cover, but when you actually put, let's show you, when you actually put your box in the inside, okay, you're not going to see up the top here, and you're not going to see a bit here, so you only really need to cut there. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're not going to see the tops all the way up there, only here is where you're going to see. So I thought, you know what, there's no point in me wasting, especially with these papers, I thought there is no point in me doing a complete coverage. So if you're looking at it thinking, oh, that's not covered, that's for a reason. And it's because those papers were, you know, I only had 5 in the pack, and they're so precious. You know, I suppose it's a little bit like the graphic 45. You know, we don't like using it, do we? In fact, I've got about 3 or 4 pads graphic. Oh, this is going to be a nightmare, and you're going to have to sit here and watch me do all these panels. Oh no. I promise I'll try and go as fast as I possibly can with these. It's just, if you know, putting tape onto these and getting it off is not an easy feat. Yes, I've got so many, you know, graphic 45s that I haven't used, and the same as everybody else. I'm not going to use them. Right, now's the time to decide which way you want your pattern to go. Are you wanting your pattern to go up, or are you wanting your pattern to come down? I actually think I like up. So I'm going to rough this, knowing that I haven't got, you know, there's 2 centimetres there, so let's rough it there. And the easiest way to check before you go ahead, just to make sure, is you pop that in the box like that, and you'll see, and we're fine. That's absolutely perfect. You know that is all you're going to see inside. So it's a good marker. So we'll get all these on. I won't put the insides of the other things on, but I want to just show you, you know, what it looks like. And I will show you how we can put the light, our light fittings, you know, the little boxes here that we've just made. I'm going to put those in and show you where they go. But I guess you're probably going to know. Where do you think they go? Where do you think they're going to go? Well, I can tell you, you could put them, you don't have to put them at the bottom. You could make 12 of those, and you could wire 6 at the bottom, 6 at the top, and then you could wire lights in at the bottom of the top. Now, I could do that, actually. I could do that. I wasn't going to wire the lights in now because I was aware of time, and I didn't know how long. Ooh, okay. Oh, let's just have a look. Let's just have a look. Yes, that's just, oh, that was lucky. That was really lucky. Now let me just check. This is what I'm doing, you see. Every single time I'm just putting the panel in and just checking. So now I'm going to do the same, but I'm laying my next one right flat against it so I can line them up. Yes, I wasn't going to put the lights in because I'll be honest, what time are we on now? No idea. I can't see because of the light, but I didn't know how far we would get with doing this. So I thought, oh, maybe I won't get to the point of the lights yet. But I think because I'm going to have to redo that hexagon, the internal one, because I've cut that too big. I don't know what happened there, because I'm sure cutting it down to 10 would have given me a 10 centimetre, but obviously not. So I'll have to rejig that. That's quite frustrating, because we could have got that all done in this tutorial. So maybe we'll just do this one. I think probably the next one we can actually pretty much finish it. You know, it will be a finished product. Right, remember, line them up so you know, making sure. Being brave. Just making sure I've got them on the right way as well. Making sure you're getting them nice and neat. Yes, so just thinking on it, maybe what we'll do is once we've mocked these two boxes up, I shall string those around the bottom so you can see how they're going to fit. And then I'm just thinking about the lid, because the lid of the box is something we're going to put on at the end. Plus we've got the inner lid. So yes, I think, as annoying as it was, and I would have liked to have got that in, obviously I can't at the moment, but we can still carry on with, yeah, the other bits. Right, we're nearly there anyway, and then we can start constructing this box. You know, I was looking at some of the other panels as well from Tonic. You know what, they really do have some amazing, you know, products and panels that you can use. I'm so sorry if I'm going a bit too far that way. Do you know what I think it is? I think it's because I zoomed, didn't I? I zoomed my camera in when I was doing the other one, so I'm a bit skew-whiff tonight. That's what they say, wonky donkey. Oh my gosh, that wind is so bad. It's like floods. Oh, I hope my water will run through my letterbox. But yeah, Tonic have some really nice. Do you know what? I so wish they would bring out. I just started, you know, putting together all the bits for the Halloween box, because I said I would do a light up one for Halloween. Right, let me just concentration. Yeah, I said I would do a light up one for Halloween, and I was looking at, you know, the panels and everything, and I just wish they would bring out another one, you know. It's been ages. I can't remember when that was. Like, such a long time ago it was. I was hoping actually that they were going to bring out, I thought maybe the kit was going to be a Halloween kit, you know, one of the craft kits. I thought, oh, maybe they're going to do Halloween. But they did the little, that's really cute, isn't it? That stamp set. Is it the Monsters one? I really like that one. I think I might have to get that. But I thought, oh, maybe they might come up with a Halloween one, but still no. No. Please, Tonic, can we please have some more Halloween dies? Because I'm going to get mine out, and I feel awful when I get my Halloween dies out, because I know how many people just really want that set. I actually had two of them. And when I realised how, you know, how scarce they were, I sold mine, but I didn't sell mine for a ridiculous price. I sold it for what I paid for it, and that was $35. And the only reason I can remember vividly, the only reason I ended up with two was because I bought one, the coffin set on its own, and didn't realise there was a bundle. So then I bought the bundle and just had never sent it back. So somebody else now, luckily, is getting enjoyment out of that, which is nice. Because it's terrible hanging on to dies, especially when so many people want them. Right, okay, so let's just put those in there. Now, we're bringing in our 10 centimetre hexagon, and this is where we're going to find out. Now, I haven't taken out any of the markings because, to be quite honest with you, it's really not going to make any difference at all. So this is now the tricky one. Doing this one on camera is going to be exciting, because this is where we see how well we've measured this 10.5 centimetre hexagon. Because, you know, if you're out, and this is the first one of these I have done, I think. Oh no, I haven't actually. That's not true, because the other one was a 10.5 centimetre hexagon. So I did do it, that's right, I did. So here we go. So we're going to pop that, and we're doing exactly the same, leveling it up. And I am taking my time and going slowly with this because I can't afford to make a mistake. Because if we make a mistake, then we're not going to be able to get this box set up, and I don't want. So I am going a little bit slower than I normally would. Normally I would speed through this, especially not on, you know, when you're not on camera. I would be light speed, but I'm just want to get this right. Oh. Second panel. We're not far off now, are we? Of, you know, now you can really see how this is coming together, but you can also see that it is quite a substantial project, isn't it? Especially with all the cutting out of all your dies, you know, having to cut out six panels, you know, decorate, should I say, 6 panels. It is, you know, it's a big project, but I think the rewards for this are the best, because they're just, you know, I really do think they're lovely. And I have got shown, or I think I spoke this morning, and I said, you talked about this rotating hexagon. Now I'm not sure what you meant, but I have worked out a way also, and I'm not sure if this is what you, when you said about rotating it, sorry, you know, can't see that. But I'm going to use a Lazy Susan. I have to wait until I actually get the little pack, because it's a very small Lazy Susan, and I have to find out how tall it is, because I think your inside box is going to be quite short. So, I mean, it really will be a novelty one, but I was hoping it would get here for Halloween, before Halloween, so that I could use it on the Halloween one, because I thought that would, you know, that would be brilliant. Right, we're just going in with this. Now, I've got a little, that's just not the right, there we go. Just not, oh, just wasn't sitting right there. And we're not doing it on a full hexagon as well, are we? Okay, remember this is, we're going to put our lights in the bottom of this. Can't see it, just, where is that clock? Oh, 47 minutes, my gosh. Okay, so yes, we couldn't have done this anyway, so we would have had to have come back. But you know what, it's good, because you can see this completely coming together, completely from scratch. Right, I'm really going to try, and as much as I don't want to, and I would like to do this really, really slowly, I'm going to now try and rush through this little bit, because these videos take ages. Right, we're nearly done. You don't have to worry too much about the inside box being perfect, by the way. Just, obviously, you do have to worry about the 10.5 centimetres being pretty perfect, but the rest, no. And you do have to make sure that it's on the line. I think we're like a smidgen out there. Never mind. We'll sort it out. It's all going to come together, and the only problem will be at the top. I just want to get this done so I can just show you a little bit and just talk to you a little bit about the top and how it works before I stop, and then I can move on. Because if I can get that, let's just pop that down. If I can get that hexagon box done, I might even come back a bit later. Oh, I don't know, it's a bit late. Maybe have to do this in the morning, finish it off. I really wanted to get it out to you today, but you know, what have I done it over? When did I start it? Yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. So yesterday and today. Right, last piece, and let's just hope. I think this is going to be okay. I'm aware that I'm ever so there's a little bit of a, I'm going to show you. Again, you don't have to worry about the insides of these, okay? You don't have to worry about the little holes that escape light in these ones because you're not putting any light in here. This is just for you. And it doesn't matter if these are up and down and a bit, I told you, you know, you're putting it in. Right, okay, so I have got a little bit of movement there. Right, so now I'm going to do this bit, but I'm not going to string them through yet. But just to show you, and this is how I've got a little bit of an overhang on this. And I don't think, yes I can. I just want to move that because that is going to affect it. Sorry. Just wanted to, there we go. Right, now, just to show you so that you can see how much room you don't get. Do you see what I mean? Now, this is where I was telling you, you know, we made the top for the inside, you know, where I was telling you this is going to go here and this is going to go here, right? And that fits over the top like that. Hopefully we'll get this on, I will find a way of trying to get this on a bit better than I did the other time, because do you understand what I'm saying? Unless you've got things in here stuffing it out. So what you could do is actually drop diamantes. So while the box is like that, obviously after you've put your lights in, you could drop diamantes, and then that would fill this all up, and this would bring these out. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when you go to put your outer edge on, you know, onto the box, they're going to stick in, but that's where you have a little bit of an issue. Right, so let's just move that to one side. And let's just show you what we're going to do with these. Now, it's pretty obvious, I would have thought. So we're bringing in our 6 little light holders. And the light holders are going to be stuck along the bottom. So let's go ahead and do that because we're nearly up to an hour. And that's quite a long one to upload. So remember, these are going down the side. Yes. And you're just popping them. There is no, you know, it's a rough. You know, obviously make sure they're level with the bottom. Do you understand? Make sure they're level with the bottom. Just push it up and down. Now, to be honest with you, actually, do you know what I'm going to tell you to do? Do you know what I'm going to, because on the outside, you can see whenever you glue, I've just had a thought, whenever you glue, you can see the glue on the outer edge. So you know what I'm going to advise you to do? And that is, where is my big tape now? I think I've taken it inside, so no big tape. Let's use little tape. I'm going to do this because otherwise you get this awful... you get this awful, you know, glue patch. You know, maybe not if you, this isn't a 300 GSM, let's put it that way, that's better. This isn't a 300 GSM, so it may make a difference. If you've got a 300 GSM, maybe the glue might not go through so much, but it does make, this is why I'm saying, this is why I'm doing all these things for you, so you know the mistakes that can happen. You know, not mistakes, they're not mistakes, it's just about how perfect you want it, if you know what I mean, how professional looking you want it. So I am going to tell you to put tape on it instead, okay, because it does look funny, and it did with the battery, and that's another thing I didn't like about that, because you had to glue the battery on the side. I just really, oops, I really didn't like that. So, okay, we're going in, trying not to get my head too far, and we're just popping them in the corners. Can you see just in those? I don't know if you can see them in the corners. And that's where our lights are going to be strung right round, okay? So we've done, I do apologise if you've got my arm, my head, my arm, my head, everything's gone in the way today, hasn't it? Oh dear. Right, so again, popping that there, they'll, you know, they're going to go straight in, aren't they? And we're nearly done. So that is how you are stringing your lights into your box. And it's how you make it neat and tidy. And believe me, you do need them. You do need them, because if you don't have them, your lights, where am I? Sorry, I'm trying to work on camera. One more to go. Your lights are going to be everywhere. They're going to be all over the place, and you've got to remember that you have to stick this box into this box, and you don't want, sorry, just put that, oh, we're nearly done. You don't want your lights to end up anywhere here, because this has to glue onto there, right? So now at this point, and I'm going to just throw it out there, this is where if you wanted to put lights at the bottom and the top, which is absolutely possible now, especially now we're going to have our box in here, our battery box. I'll just take our battery box that's going to go in there. You can have 2 battery boxes in there. Even the 2 AA ones will fit in perfectly. Did you see what I mean? This, which should have been smaller, because I've obviously made my measurements wrong. This should have been a lot smaller. Did you see what I mean? So that would have fit in there. Okay, but I'm going to do that in the next tutorial anyway, because we've run out of time tonight, so I can't do it tonight. But if you want to, and I'm going to actually suggest that it might be a good idea, because if you put batteries, if you put batteries and you use these, but maybe use a 200 GSM. Where I said this morning, don't use a 200 GSM at the bottom, because we need that flexibility, because we want this, do you see what I mean? It's got to slide in. It's got to slide in, and it's got to sit flat, which it does. But if you could do a 1 centimetre. I wonder if I might do that. Maybe we'll come back. What's the time? Yeah, I can't do it now. We're nearly at an hour. So I'll tell you what I'll do. You know me, I like to do things a little bit more off the cuff. Now, what I'm going to do is we're going to come back, and we're going to feed some lights around the bottom. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 1 centimetre, and I'm going to use a very thick card along the top here. You see, along this bit. Sorry, that wasn't down that side, and along this bit, so that that will give us some support at the top here, so that when we put, do you understand what I'm saying? When we put this on, when we pinch this here to close it, there's going to be a 200 GSM sitting in the middle of that, and we're going to be able to close it together. Because the problem I found with doing this at the top is there was no stability around the edge to close it. Do you understand? No stability at all. So I think we'll try something different. And I think even if you're not stringing lights through the top, I actually think it's going to be a good idea to do it. So I will come back, I'll show you how, what to do to put this reinforcement, and it won't be till the end, because we've still got to string the lights through, we've still got to put our decoration on the box, right? And then, we aren't far off done. So I think the next tutorial is going to be your last part. So we would have done this in 4 parts. So thank you for watching. I will come back, and I want to get this done tomorrow morning. So I shall upload this tonight. It might not be done till early hours because they take ages, but it should certainly be done for the morning. And then I'll come back in the morning, and we will completely finish this box off, okay? I haven't got, where did I put my book? I'll bring that back so that you can see this fits in. But I think I will string, I'm just looking, 2 lights I'll see anyway, but I'm definitely going to do some reinforcement within here. And I really genuinely do think just popping in a little bit, even if we're not stringing lights through, and even if we're just using a really hot, maybe even a 300 GSM, just to put in between here as a centimetre, that is going to do the trick. Okay, and that's going to get that on neat, because we don't ever need to take that off anymore, because we've got our box in here. When we put, you can see the thing in the bottom, when we put our this, which is going to have, you know, when it's the right size, is going to go inside, and we're going to have you see, an opening on it, so that will stick in the bottom, and then your batteries will feed up through here. So before we stick all this down, the batteries, once you've put all your batteries in at the bottom, you just run the small wire along the side, and I'm hoping that it's not going to affect it. It shouldn't do. If you're using the thin LED, you know, the ones that come on the wires lights, then it won't affect it at all. You know, it's not going to affect your box at all. But I'm not so sure about the thicker lights. So we'll play around with lights tomorrow. I'll get the little tiny section, so it will actually end up being 7 or 8 components in the end, because we do need something up here, you see. Right, thank you so much for watching, and I will be back tomorrow, and we will finish our light up box tomorrow. Hope you're enjoying watching these tutorials. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.